Tim Tebow's future looking like if you had to project?
What's his future looking like?
Are you laughing at Tim?
I mean, when's the CFL? I mean, is he going to the Canadian Football League? Because clearly nobody in the NFL wants him. Listen, here's the deal. Yeah, laugh and joke around and all of that stuff. In seriousness, we all know that he was essentially sabotaged by the New York Jets organization. There's just no other way to slice it. The use of him was just embarrassing. It was insulting. It was, and I'm a big Tim Tebow critic from the standpoint that and God bless him because I think he's a wonderful person. But I've been on the record. I told him to his face, and I give him a lot of credit for accepting it. I don't think he can throw the football. And his response to me was, I appreciate you judging me on football, because I certainly don't judge him on anything else, because there's nothing to malign him about in regards to anything else as far as I'm concerned. I just don't think he can throw. And so now here we are looking at him and the interest or lack thereof on the part of NFL teams. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know why there are some people out there who seem even remotely surprised. There's only one viable place for Tim Tebow, and that's Jacksonville, near his hometown, because of the support that he'd receive locally and how it would generate revenue for that franchise. And even they don't want him. So in light of that, I'm sorry, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, because I think that he would be a sideshow. Okay. Meaning that he'd be somebody that's too big of a distraction that would cause, just the kind of attention that organizations don't want for their team. And that's what I'm not even judging him about the play. Just all the circus-type atmosphere that surrounded him, Skip, and that's where I'm at. It's not his fault, but it is what it is.
You have a problem with his showing up to workouts for a team that does not want him, clearly.
That's right.
Has tried to trade him.
That's
you have a problem?
Yeah, I do, to some degree, yes, because it's like well,
whose fault is that? His or theirs?
I said it's not his fault.
Theirs.
It's not his fault. Not his fault.
Yeah. So why don't they just let him go?
There you go.
They're holding out hope that somebody will come in at the last second ahead of the draft and say, okay, we'll give you a 7th-round draft choice for Tim Tebow. Classic
case of somebody giving you a paycheck and thinking they can treat you any way they want, because that's what the Jets are doing with Tim Tebow.
But again, he does have high character, and so because of that, he's going to show up because he is under contract to this team, and he's going to go through the offseason workout with the team that doesn't want him. This is painful for me to admit, but Tim Tebow is in trouble going into next year. I hope so badly I'm wrong about this, but to your point, and you always say it's partially my fault, maybe I do deserve some blame for this. Tim Tebow can no longer be your backup quarterback, because it's too big a distraction for the rest of the team. It's too big a distraction for your starting quarterback, because Tim Tebow can't just play in the shadows behind the backup quarterback. Everybody's always asking, Tebow getting a shot? Is he going to get a play? Is he going to get a series? He destroyed Mark Sanchez last year. That was the worst thing that Rex Ryan and company, Tannenbaum.
Mike Tannenbaum, yes.
Yeah.
Who's now working for an agency, yes.
That's where he belongs,
Mark Bartelstein is one of the best.
Yeah.
That's a good person to work with.
More apropos.
So here's my other issue with Tim Tebow that concerns me even more right now. If memory serves, and I might have lost count here, in Tim's NFL career, I think he's now working with his 5th quarterback teacher, Vinny Testaverde. Really? Vinny Testaverde? My friend Tom House, remember we had on the show last year, he did a stint with Tom out at USC. It's one after another after another. And after a while you say, Tim, you're grasping here. Maybe you should just listen to yourself, because he keeps going over here and over here, over here, but never to the coach of the quarterbacks of the team that he's playing for. I think he helped alienate some coaches at Denver because he kept going outside for advice and counseling and a tutorial on how to play quarterback from other people. And now he's doing it again with the Jets, who clearly don't want him.
Let me get Skip on you here. Are you possibly and potentially saying that Tim Tebow has been somewhat of a prima donna?
No, not prima donna. I mean, I just think you're coachable to a fault. You keep seeking knowledge. We just heard Bruce Pearl talk about Pat Summerall who's always looking for this, this, and this. Well, Tebow still has a long way to go, and after a while you have to trust your own judgment. You keep saying he can't throw the football, but I thought he threw it really well at Denver at times. When it was time to throw it,
he had his moments.
They had some 316 yards worth of moments against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, they did.
So the point is, I don't know. It's starting to look desperate, and I think that looks bad to the rest of the league. Like, he's going to another quarterback teacher? What is this about?
I just think we need to get away from football when we're talking about him, because that's not the biggest impediment to him. The biggest impediment to him is the circus-type atmosphere that surrounds him, and teams don't want to touch him.
Now, do I still think he could be a starting quarterback successful for any team? Yes, I do. Okay. Jacksonville would be way better off Tim Tebow, but you have to bring him in as your potential starting quarterback. You can't say, we'll back up with Tim Tebow. We'll give him a few plays in the Wildcat. You know, no, you can't.
While we debate his future, Rich Cimini most recently wrote that the Jets are expected to release him after the draft.
Yep.